Hey guys, this is UC from Mommy Trades, and today is May 16th, about 7 Eastern or 6 Central. Okay, just wanted to go over the core charts that we follow here at Mommy Trades, and wanted to give you the overall view of these charts. Let us start with Amazon, and let's look at a weekly chart to start off with. Weekly chart looks very good. We had the bullish pattern here. I believe it's called piercing candle, where the current week's bar closes 50% into the previous red bar. So it's actually definitely more than 50%. And then we had a little bit of follow through this last week on the upside, and it looks good, sort of flagging still in the weekly time frame and trying to break out. Okay, let's look at the daily time frame to get a better view. And in fact, in a daily time frame, we do have some sort of a breakout from the bull flag level, but overall in the week we were sort of flat, right? We held this 24.20 and then 23.40 in the downside, so we held that 80-point range for the whole week. Okay, and looking at a daily time frame, earlier part of the week we saw a little weakness. Wednesday was sort of a mid-week where we saw a neutral bar, and then on Thursday and Friday we nicely got back above the 20-day moving average and closed nicely towards the top end of its weekly range. Okay, so that is good for bulls. And let's look at, let's say, a 4-hourly time frame. Still similar story, just in different time frame. We have the nice looking bullish trend bars. So looks like if we get above 24.20, which is the resistance right here, and as you can see it has multiple touch points, 1, 2, and sort of like 3 as well. If we get above that, then 24.35 area is next. You can have a better view of that in an hourly time frame, which is looking good. So yeah, we'll be on a lookout for the breakout. And then towards the downside, definitely we would want to get back below 23.75 to begin with to start leaning bearish. Otherwise it looks good. We just need a continuation. Okay, let's go to Apple. A little different story here. In a weekly time frame we had the nice run up, but this last week is given us a doji, not a doji, but sort of a neutral doji looking candle bar where neither the bulls nor the bears have an upper hand. So we closed below the high of its previous week, but still sort of sideways, I would say. Let's look at a daily time frame to get a better view. We are definitely above all the moving averages and now kind of retracing back towards the 20-day moving average. And let's see if we keep coming down and sort of see some bullish action around the 20-day moving average to get back into the long swing. So that can be a nice nice trade. And if I were to draw a trend line from right here, that actually will be really good, because let me change the color a little bit just so that it gives you a better view. It will coincide with the 20-day moving average. So if we get a bullish bar at the 20-day moving average, that will be a good high quality setup, because that would not only be a trend line support and a price support, which is because of this right here, but also moving average support. So that would be a good level to go along, and one can always put their stop around 286 and then try to target let's say a good 320, which is the top end of this range over here. But again, that's depends on if the price comes down and gives us that scenario. Okay. All right. Let's get to Microsoft. Always start with a weekly time frame. Similar to Apple, I would say. Definitely a neutral bar after this run up, and very close to its all-time high of 190. So it's kind of getting there. And looking in a daily time frame, we can see a good 3-bar bullish pattern. You got to move down, bottom wick, move back up, and then the 3rd bar moved up as well. And well, it couldn't really close above the high of this 1st bar, but still not bad. Okay, but this 187 area is a hard resistance. As you can see, it tried to go there 3 times but couldn't get past it. Like 1, 2, 3. So that is a good area to keep in mind to play along on any upside move. Okay, and if we were to start coming down from a daily time frame, you can see the 20-day moving average provided a good support. So again, the setup I was talking about previously in Apple, where if we were to see a similar bar on Apple on a 20-day moving average, definitely that could be a good from risk and reward perspective to go long. But Microsoft here, yeah, could be a good long if we keep holding this 20-day moving average on a closing basis. Okay, let's see on a 2-hourly time frame if it gives us any view. Yeah, similar story, move back up. So we'll stick to the daily time frame for our high overview. Okay, Netflix. It was flagged a little bit here. Really good looking breakout, sideways move with bottom wicks. 3rd bar is pretty good, and oh wow, this was actually a very nice pattern. Like if I remove the wicks, you can see this 3-bar pattern is turned out to be very nice, because this 3rd bar actually closed. I think it closed 447. Yeah, it did not close above the high of this 1st bar, but it was a good pattern to go long above this one, and then had this follow through move, and you can see it held the trend line as well. So if I were to get into a daily time frame, really nice 1st, 2nd, and 3rd touch point. So good looking trend line that Netflix held all this time, and now it closed to, I think, at the all-time high. So I think we can still see some good strength in this name to move, still keep moving up. Okay, all right, let us get into let's get into SPY. Start with it. Weekly time frame. Okay, in a SPY we have this move up, and looks like it did exhaust here in the past couple of weeks. Like when we saw this nice recovery from mid-March all the way till the end of April, but then it started moving sideways, right? We have this bullish trend bar, but we failed to see any follow-through move to the upside, and now this 295 area, which is right this one, we see there's resistance, and in the past 3 weeks now we haven't been able to move above that point. Okay, and on the downside, every time we go down, this 271 area provided good support. You can see 3 touch points, 1, 2, 3, good support there. And in a daily time frame, it's sort of giving us that double top right here. And then on the downside, support level, this is a good support of 279 area. You can see multiple touch points right there. So yeah, anything below that, 278.9, 278.8, we can start leaning bearish. Otherwise, I think we can still try to go back up and try to test this 294.9 resistance area, because the daily time frame we did close above the 20-day moving average, and we are already above the 250. So let's see what happens, and we'll just not try to predict, we'll just trade the chart. Okay, let us go in a 4-hourly time frame. Yeah, similar story, double top here, and then we're in this sort of a channel where we go all the way up to 294, come back towards 279, go back up, come back down, and now we're going back towards 295 area. Let's see if this first resistance of 287.2 gets cleared, then 291.5 is next, and then 294.9 eventually. The downside, the break of this support will be definitely key, because we've held that support on a closing basis, and anything below that we can test the previous week's low of 271 area. Okay, let's quickly look at MNQ. I like to trade that a lot. Let's get into a weekly time frame first. Similar story, just like Apple, sort of big move up trend bar, but then we saw this on a high volume. We are seeing this sort of a pause. I would not say it bearish, I would not call it bullish, but it's still a pause, just like this one, right? It's a pause. The trend is still up, okay, but this is it's a hard resistance area to break right now. You can see that's where the sort of the fall started, when this whole virus thing started. So we have made this nice V-shaped recovery, but we are still not at all-time high, but very close to it. Okay, let's take a look at the daily time frame. We are holding the 20-day moving average nicely, which is this purple line, let's look at the candle bars. This past week on a daily time frame, we have these bottom wicks. These are showing some nice, I would say, buying pressure, right? Which is at this support level. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. And anything above this one, I would say we can definitely target the 9300 area on the upside, which we did go or test this previous week. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's look at a 4-hourly time frame. Okay, let's take a look at that. Not bad actually. It's just giving that inverse head and shoulder kind of look, I would say. Not really clean, but not bad either. So look at this one: left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. So the neckline kind of becomes I would say close, something like here, 9160, 9170, 9150, all that area is sort of a neckline. Anything move above that in a higher time frame, if we get a close above that, that is really bullish. And you can see market did give us some nice bounces, some nice buying pressures all throughout the past few days, where you would see this fall and then try to go back up, and then another big red bar right here. But then you start seeing these bottom wicks and the price holding these lows right here. And this was a very good setup where you saw the price break down from these bottom wicks, but then buyers came in, took it back up. So this was a good buy right here around 89.90 to right all the way up. We tried to do that same thing on Friday, couldn't do it. Buyers stepped in. We got this double bottom here on a 4-hourly, and then we have this multiple touch points where 1, 2, and a couple of points here. The 9150 area has been providing some resistance. So anything above that is 9200, and anything above that we can definitely go test the highs of these congestion zone towards the 9345 area. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, I think this is a quick and dirty overview of some of the stocks that we follow. If you have any request or anything like that, please do leave a message, and we'll be happy to analyze that chart for you. Okay, thank you very much.